Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome. So our segment is not going to be long. So in the next 30 to 45 minutes will be done. As we will be uh, sharing and discussing. It's a conversation, so informal conversation, and you're also open to bring out your views, communicate your views, and we can be able to have that conversation together. So 2 years back, I started this initiative of the Visionaries Hub, and it was during the COVID period, and we were mainly doing it on WhatsApp. And I'm so excited that we are now bringing it live, and God willing, I believe that we are going to have more of these broadcasts whereby we having these discussions pertaining to youth empowerment, pertaining to leadership, pertaining how we can be able to really empower young people. Young people are the future, and the future is now. The future is not in a distant period. The future is now, and it is imperative for young people to take a critical place in the society. So one of my guests is already in the studio. I'm going to be inviting him shortly in a minute. The other guest also will be joining us later on. But today we are reigniting the Visionaries Hub. To those who were with us during our days on WhatsApp, this the reignition of the program. Now we're not doing it live, and the beauty of technology is that we can be able to connect anywhere and have these discussions for the benefit of the young people. So today I'm joined by two gentlemen. As I said, the other one is already in the studio, and I'm going to be adding him on in a few seconds. But if you are joining us, please share the broadcast, and also comment where you are watching us from in the comment section, so that we can be able to get this ball rolling. So I'll be adding our guest, one of our guests, into the studio. Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Welcome leadership. Welcome.
Uh,
Wow.
yeah,
This is amazing. This is amazing. So
thank you very much.
so in a second we are going to be starting. One of our guests will be joining us later on as we'll be moving on. But we have a special guest in the room, my brother and also fellow leader, young leader. And I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. All the way from Binga, all the way from London, Zimjen. Thank you so much. One thing, Comrade Snamani, my leader, there's this wonderful leader, Jennifer Chimboza, all the way from London. I got to know him in Kadoma, and she has been doing a lot in terms of youth empowerment, and I'm so excited that she's with us. Also, my leader, Duduzi, all the way from Binga. Thank you so much for joining in. We are so humbled. So I'm going to leave this time for our fellow just to introduce himself to those who are, yes, and also my fellow leader and friend Kelly, watching from Albany, New York. Thank you so much for joining in. So I'm going to leave this time to our first guest who's here to just introduce himself to the world. Who is this person? Who is this leader? So leadership, if you can unmute your mic, so that we can be able to just hear from you, just to introduce yourself to the world. Leadership, over to you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Chris. My name is Visionaries Namani, all the way from Harare, Zimbabwe, and I'm glad today to be making the decision um, for this podcast. Visionaries Namani is a youth leader, more into the Christian leadership within the Christian coding to be the program of social leadership in Zimbabwe. Visionaries Namani is a young person who's passionate about youth involvement in social political and economic issues. Moses Namani is also passionate about young people taking charge within their communities, within their churches, within all spheres of life. So that is basically
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So one thing that I'm excited about this is we have a leader who's been a leader in the Christian field, and I'm so excited because it's also going to be discussing on that note. So if you can, Mrs. Simba, if you can also make sure that you are audible, and if you can check your mic, Simba, if you to increase the volume a bit, so that we can be able to hear you clearly also. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, His Excellency, Believe Evans. Thank you so much, Mr. Guta. Thanks for joining in. So as we are going to be starting today, we have got an interesting topic that we are going to be discussing. And as I said, as we are starting, everyone, you are free to also comment on this topic. It's a very good topic, and I believe that we are going to have a great time discussing about it. So our topic today is maybe you saw our flyer. It's very interesting. As I said, it's saying exploring the extent of youth involvement in socio-political and economic issues, and it goes on to say an assessment of our progress. I will repeat again: exploring the extent of our youth involvement in socio-political and economic issues, and we're going to be assessing how far how we've progressed in that, so that we can be able to learn. So, can I just read this comment? All right. So, Simba, if you can check also your mic, if you can unmute yourself so that we can hear you, just to see if it's not audible. All right. I'm going to make sure that I'll bring him in so that he can fix his mic so that we can be able to hear him. So as I was saying, that is our topic today that we're going to be discussing today. And as I said, feel free to also comment your opinions pertaining to this topic. We're exploring, are youth being involved in terms of in their communities? Are we seeing young people being involved in terms of issues to do with politics, with governance? Are we seeing young people being involved in terms of the economic issues of their communities? Are we seeing young people being involved in social issues? So this is the spectrum of our discussion, and I'm willing to have people contributing, and also even if you can even point, submit your submission in our comment section, and we're willing also to project it here on our podcast. So this is our topic: are young people being involved? Are we seeing young people, or young people are only now involved in trends, in whatever is happening around the world? So my brother Simba, I don't know if your mic is now working. You can be able to begin. Is the mic now working so that we can get this ball rolling? All right.
Am I audible enough?
I think you're not audible. I don't know. You can also comment if but I think you're not audible. You're not audible. I think you're not audible, so that we can get. So, my brother, this is the topic that we have. You said, well, one thing that I love about you said that you've been in leadership as a young leader in church, and also in various ecumenical groups that all deals with empowerment of young people. What's your take on this issue? We want to break it down as we move. Are young people being involved? Are we seeing young people? Do you think that young people are doing enough in terms of participating in this in key national or community processes, or probably as young people we are just ignorant of what is happening around us? What's your take on that one? Just a brief take on this issue.
Okay, thank you very much, Ambassador. Yeah. So on the issue of young people's involvement in the issue of social, political, and economic issues, I would actually say there's little progress in young people's involvement within social, political, and economic issues due to so many factors. That may be there's a growing sense of apathy among youth which is fueled by, we can say, by political instability and shrinking civic spaces. So basically, like I said, there's a very little progress in young people's involvement in social, political, and economic issues.
So you brought one thing that you bring that first and foremost you are in agreement that young people, where we see young people are not and we're not seeing young people being involved in these issues, and the reason that you've brought up is you talked about the environment. So are we saying that the environment is not conducive for young people to be part and parcel of the discussion or of the public policy discourse? What are we saying? Are we saying that young people are we blaming the environment, or there are also other factors? So I was reading this article, my brother, and I'm loving most of the comments that are coming. Young people need the right information and get interest in issues surrounding them. I will just bring this on so that we can be able to see this. From Jennifer Chimbos, young people need the right information and get interest in issues surrounding them. And then, so I just projected that one to our podcast, Simba. And if you can check that, young people need the right information and get interest in issues around them. So Jennifer is bringing out the issue that one of the things that might be lacking also, if I'm quoting correctly there, is that young people, this issue of lack of interest. Young people are not interested in issues to do with either their communities or issues that are surrounding them. See, what's your take on that? What in your experience? Is it the issue, or you talked about environment, but there's also another issue that is being brought about, the issue of interest.
Thank you very much. On the issue of interest, personally, I would beg to differ.
Okay.
The reason being, young people are interested, but the environment may push them to maybe to seem like they are not interested in things that are happening. Let me take, for instance, looking at the economic situation in Zimbabwe. Let me take in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
You look at the economic situation, the economic hardships.
Yeah.
You find out that due to the economic hardships, most people are largely informal. Therefore, when they are largely informal, there's they are living under the poverty datum line.
Okay.
This pushes young people to be largely informal. So when these decision making processes are done, young people will be focusing much more on bringing food on the table, on bringing something on the table. So that may seem like young people are ignorant. Let's say, for instance, when hearings are done, when consultations are done, instead of young people to attend, they are focusing more on bringing something on the table because of the environment, the economic hardships. Therefore, it may seem like young people are not interested. They are interested, but the situation is forcing them not to focus more on that. But the question would be, yes, I'm going to attend the budget consultation. Yes, I'm going to attend this consultation. Is it going to bring something on my table immediately? Because I need to eat. I'm a social being. I need something on my table. So I beg to differ on the issue of lack of interest. We have people are very much interested. You go there, you go to churches, you go to public fields, public spaces, you ask them, they are interested. But the $1 million thing that they will tell you is, yes, you are interested, but you need to put something on the table first. That is their argument.
Wow. So, I love how you're bringing it. Also, what I'm going to be doing is that, thank you, Jennifer, for all these inputs, and I'm going to be projecting them so that we can be able to bring. I'm loving those views that are coming in. They can help us in terms of context. So Jennifer is saying that I live in the UK and work with young people, but most of them have no interest. So you brought the issue of the of economic hardships as a factor that probably that young people are now preoccupied in looking for greener pastures, looking for job opportunities, and also probably trying to find means to their survival. And as I was saying, Jennifer is also bringing the issue that the issue of interest is also a factor. It still remains a factor. That yes, there are issues to do with economic instabilities, issues to do with political instabilities, but the issue of that most of us, all young people, they lack also that interest in terms of participating in these things. So there's something that I was reading an article here that I'm going to project here, so that probably we can be able to see. It was written by an author called Kurebwa, and I quote: "Young people throughout the world are an afterthought of policy and program interventions." This is Kurebwa, and to those who would want to go to read this book, you can also go to this link, so that you can also read his submission. So I was reading that young people are throughout the world are an afterthought of policy and program interventions. If you check in most in the countries in the world, you're going to see that if you look at the political, even economic pyramid, you're going to see that you're going to see more elderly people taking position, be it in the economic sector, be it in the political sector. We are seeing more young people, more elderly people taking center stage or taking effective roles. And at the lower bottom there, you might be seeing that's when you see young people now. What's your take on that leadership in terms, even those who are also joining us? We've tried the issue of lack of interest, which is also a valid point. We talk the issue of also the issue of the system, the economic system also. So I want us also to go to this, to come just have a comment on this one, Simba, on this one, Simba, whereby it's saying young people throughout the world in afterthought of policy and program, but also want to also bring in the view that Jennifer is also bringing in, that that of interest, that of young people not even that in love for or love for them to participate in issues to do with socio-political policies. So what's your take on this one, Simba? Also, young people throughout the world are in afterthought of policy in program intervention. In your line of work, you said you've worked in the patient community. What's your view on this also?
Thank you very much, Ambassador. On the issue of young people having the love on the participation, sorry if I heard you correct, on the participation on the issue of policies. Yes. My understanding is for young people to have the love on the issue of participation. Looking at the majority of the young people nowadays, they need to see the immediate results. Okay. So, like what one of businesses that there's an interest because they see no immediate effect on the benefits from participating or engaging in the government, like what Kelly mentioned. So the fact that the love is lacking because young people have been participating before, they've put in their effort, but now putting their effort, they've not seen the immediate results. Okay. So the issue of not seeing the immediate results, there's a lack of that love. That may seem like they have no love, but because of lack of the immediate results, now you go to consultations, you put your efforts. After putting your efforts, there's no immediate results. So you lack that love. You end up not interested on the issues. So I think maybe the author was mentioning on the after results, whereby young people now they've been participating, but after participating, they've seen no immediate results. Therefore, they lack that love towards the thing. I will give an example, like with the budget consultations. In my context in Zimbabwe, you know, at one point I had the opportunity to mobilize young people to go and participate in budget consultations. They cited their views. They cited what they think was of paramount importance to be included within the budget. But they were shocked when the budget was out, seeing that what they've cited was ignored. So the next moment that you tell them, guys, there's another budget consultation, let us go and attend, they will tell you that it's of no use. That's when the issue of the lack of love comes. That because it seems like the young people, their views are not taken into consideration. So they'll end up lacking love and uninterested on those issues to do with the social, political, and economic aspect.
Wow. One thing that I love about you, you're being also an experience of what you've experienced in terms of you being involved with your fellow young people. That usually young people, what makes them uninterested is because when they participate maybe for the first time or second time or any time when they go there, is that they don't see the immediate effect or benefits of what they participate for. At the end of the day, they will lose interest pertaining to that. And you brought on the issue of, I think Kelly also brought the issue of is it voting or elections, if I'm not mistaken. Even you yourself also simply also brought in the issue of voting, the voting processes. And funny enough, I was also reading through an article also. I'm going to project it so that we can be able to see certain things here, and saying that African youth tend to vote less and express a lower level of partisanship, which is constantly finding for the youth in other regions. So one of the another key processes also that we're not seeing that we're not seeing young people participating is the issue of key processes such as national elections. Some of the young people, once they vote the first time, if it doesn't come their way, they then put it aside. And Jennifer is also saying that a few young ones live in a world, live in the now mode in lack patience. So I'm loving this now because we are now having both sides now of this spectrum. That yes, young people once they maybe they put in election and maybe the outcome that they wanted did not go by, then they say we're not going to participate. Probably not just election, probably what they wanted from their community leaders, probably what they wanted is not the thing that came to the table, and then they say probably we're not going to participate. So Jennifer is saying that a few young ones live in the now mode and lack patience. What's your view on this one? Young people living patience. Welcome also leader Mr. Professor Figo. Thank you so much. As I said earlier, he was going to join us later on, and we're already in the discussion, and we are live. So feel free to even participate in the conversation. So I was saying that Jennifer is saying young ones live in the now mode in the lack patience. What's our technique? Are young people looking? Are young people want things there instant results? Is that the way to life, gentlemen? What's your take, Mr. Mfigo? I don't know if you are coming in. If you hear this one, I'm loving what Jennifer is saying, that a few young ones live in the now mode and they're lacking patience. We want instant. When we do things, we want they to be done there. That's why sometimes we're not taking time to assess what is happening around us. What's your take, leadership, Mr. Mfigo?
Thank you so much for having me. It is an honor, but let me also try to respond to the issues of having results and living in the now mode, is rightfully said. I think the challenges that we have been facing is that the lack of patience is also on the level of clarity and level of political will by both the duty bearers and some of the strategic direction that has been taken at the political level within the movements and also in different political spaces. And I think the other challenge is that we are now in the digital era, and in the digital era, almost everything has to move with time, and sometimes when things fail to live up to our billing, we become frustrated. That's the that's the nature of young people throughout history. In the past, it has been the same. That's why you have seen that during the 80s, the 90s, in Africa, there was the rise of insurgency groups, and this can also be some symptom of the frustration that young people have also faced throughout history. Not necessarily that the young people of today have become, but this has always been with young people, and I think our analysis should also be on how best the narratives and the discussions can also take that direction to say, if young people really need things that happen fast, that can yield results in the now mode, what can happen? But to say entirely that we are living in the now mode and we have grown impatient is also has also some gaps, as young people have always led revolutions across the globe, and if that is impatience, then we are impatient. I think the manifestation of that impatience now has also led to the apathy that is also manifesting itself to this day. Back then, they could take up arms, they could do whatever they do in the street, but now we now have many distractions. We can spend the whole of our lifetime on social media. That's another distraction. But back then, the motive were different. So I think we are impatient as young people, and it doesn't have timelines. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, leadership. You've been bringing this, and you brought in something that is interesting. That we are living in a digital world where things are moving fast. So probably, maybe this is what is contributing to young people saying that what we need them now. But now also to bring this into our conversation, into our dialogue. I've got a question that I want to ask, and I think you might agree with me, gentlemen. How many young people know their councillors? How many young people know their MPs? How many young people know their constitution? Their constitution. Does it need a government official to introduce them to what's happening to them, or it's because of the ignorance that was mentioned earlier on? How many young people are participating in budget consultations? Just participating. How many young people do we see in those public forums? How many young people attend the ward meetings or neighborhood meetings? How many young people? Yes, you're saying you brought in the issue of digital technology, meaning young people are far ahead in terms of that. How many young people are attending those programs, those public platforms to attend those things? How many young people are participating in cleanup campaigns, for instance? How many young people are participating in those things? Are we certain that it's because probably things are not happening our way? But what about these programs that are happening surrounding us? Why are we not participating? Why? Leadership, Mrs. Simba, you can mute your mic and contribute.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for this interesting question on how many young people are participating, or how many young people know their councillors, know their members of parliament, or how many young people are participating in cleanup campaigns, are participating in hearings, extra. What I might say is, if few young people know their councillors, know their members of parliament, and a few young people are participating on the issues to do with cleanup campaigns, budget consultations, etc. But there's a major reason or factors that are causing young people not to participate on those things. Like as I mentioned before, number one, there's the issue of our economic situation. Let me take the context of Zimbabwe as a whole. There's the issue of economic context, that our economic hardships within our country. That's number one. Due to economic hardships, you find that most young people are now looking for ways to survive. We have a budget consultation. From my experience on the issue of budget consultation, on the issue of all those, there's a few budget consultation on those issues that happens on weekends. Most of them, they happen midweek. And midweek, as young people, we are looking for a way to survive. We are looking for a way to get something on the table. So the question would be on a young person, what should I prioritize? Should I prioritize my stomach or go for the budget consultation where my views are not considered to a greater extent? Number two, we have been grown up in an environment that is polarized. All the issues, Simba knowing his member of parliament, knowing his councillor, everything is politicized. So when a councillor or a member of parliament calls for a meeting, it's either the other side or the other side for you to attend. If you go to that consultation or to that meeting that is called upon by your councillor, cite your views. As long as your views differ with the views of the councillor, you become somebody who is against the councillor. You become labeled. So our political environment is polarized with the people differentiating. When you differentiate in terms of views, you are categorized with maybe say this one is from the opposition, this is from the ruling party. If you go to a meeting whereby maybe the councillor is an opposition councillor, and you set your views that are A, B, C, D is good, we should do A, B, C, D, become unpopular. So because of that, young people now, they need to feel safe. And looking backward, looking in the history, you see that back then, when you are categorized to a certain political party, certain things happened before. So when you go there, set your views, you fear for your future. Let me say you are the breadwinner. You are in your early 20s, you have a family. You fear for your future. That if it happens, that operation happens, that those who are against are going to face consequences. You'll be on the priority list, you'll be on the forefront, you'll be at the first. So because of that, young people no longer have the interest. We go voting, and when you vote, it's done. You vote for our councillor, you vote for our MP, and we go back. Whatever he or she is going to do, we don't mind, because we don't want to be labeled. We want to be kept. We want our views to be kept anonymous because of the consequences. There's no freedom before and after speech. I'll give an example of activists who have been arrested. Let's say for Namatai Kwekwezo is arrested towards the SADC. That's because of giving your views towards the social, political, economic situation in our country. So because of that, we on those issues. So, and then because of that, young people
I see Simba is facing some network breakdown. So,
am I audible now?
Yes.
So, like what the previous speaker mentioned, you're living in a digital era. We need to see results. So you see that our leaders are focusing on AOBs, on things that does not matter. Therefore, we see it's pointless for us to attend and give our views, which are not considered.
Yeah.
So because of that, young people, yes, it may seem like we don't want to attend, and most young people don't know their candidates and MPs, and they don't even know about those meetings, just because of that, or some of the factors that I've cited, and many more factors.
Thank you so much. I'm just reading this comment from Kelly, and he's saying we are allowed to be impatient. Our futures aren't yet defined. We are led by people we have read for years, and for many young people, will see how those retired men who are in political office are careless, mainly because they have nothing to lose if things go wrong. Our futures are at stake, so of course we will be impatient and radical if there's that need for us to be. This and then Jennifer also is coming in. I'm going to project it. Jennifer is saying, even in the UK, most people don't know things like music, digital space trends have taken over. It's only those who instill the point of this to build keenness in their young ones. Even in the UK, most people don't know this, do know things like music, digital space trends have taken over. So I'm going to take these two comments from Kelly and Jennifer. They're so amazing, but they are bringing this perspective that I think is very important in our dialogue. Jennifer is bringing us a context, not an African context, but also a European context, whereby he's saying that even in the UK, most young people, they don't even know about this thing about maybe what the that we're talking about. By saying that one of the reasons that, if I'm quoting correctly, is that trends have taken over. Yes, there are people that are participating in this key development process, community processes, but also young people are also in a dilemma, because now there is now the issue of trends that are happening. They are taking over. Fashion trends, I believe so. Music trends. People are now focused. Simply you talked about the issue of maybe young people are focused on finding the bread and butter is, but also young people are focused on Snapchat. Young people are focused on those things. For them, that's what matters. The other things, what they'll say, it is reserved for the elderly. Maybe I think that's on my own perspective. Maybe that's why maybe we don't see young people participating in this thing. But they're saying no, it's to do with community development, TikTok trends, TikTok trends, TikTok challenges. Are we saying that it is the fault of leaders there? If you go on Instagram right now, if you go on TikTok right now, people are doing trends, hair trends, all those things. That's what young people are so interested in. So are we saying that it's because they're not giving you opportunities, or it's because or it's because there's now the digital trends that are happening that are also distracting young people to participate in these issues? Mr. Mfigo, you can also unmute your mic and also comment on this. Is it because of opportunities? Is it or is because young people are not only there's this issue of trends, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Reels, TikTok Live. You see them there, Babampico.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I think, as I said, the social media, or rather the digital revolution, has come as an escapade, or rather a distraction, where those who are tired of being tired can actually try to hibernate in those spaces and participate in those spaces. Uh, this is an unconfirmed research, but then go to all the social media handles, for example, on Facebook. If you scan a lot of people who comment and who are always active on those pages, who are top engagers, who have top badge, are young people in the diaspora, especially in Zimbabwe. These young people do not have the platform anymore. Many of them, I say many of them, mainly because I think data is cheaper outside Zimbabwe, for example, in South Africa. And the other issue is that they quickly disengage. They will be dividing the attention to say, if those in Zimbabwe are doing whatever they are doing, how does it concern me? And this is also a reality that the moment someone steps out of Zimbabwe, at some point they would have made a very significant achievement in their life, that they can no longer relate to some of the issues. But this does not also substitute the fact that generally we have taken social media as the medium of directing or misdirecting our anger thereof. Of course, there are also engagements. If you check on people who actually post issues that are advocacy issues, for example, young people are there. Some of them may also show that there is that knowledge gap that is also displayed in the manner in which we are engaging. Whether someone posts and says this and this have done this, and as young people, what do you think? Youth they may vent there, but then the much focus is on those trendy issues, as you said earlier. Trendy issues, the sensational news. When someone says Kiki and Taiti have done this, that's where the attention goes. This is also a manifest of also the mindset.
Okay.
It is also those who benefiting from the status quo that are also trying to yield this culture. And as you have seen, in as much as the government of Zimbabwe or any state outside can try to regulate, they make sure that there is always that distraction. Have you seen that whenever there is something that is big and that is also that can have the potential of blowing up and causing despondence, there is some scandal that is there to carry the day. That is deliberate, and that is a mindset war. You are a student of politics yourself. You can understand how these Machiavellian politicians, or rather philosophers, do, especially when there is something to distract young people. So this has been successful, and we will end up focusing on who is dating Ningi. That is what will carry the day. Whether the Auditor General's report had 90 out of 96 local authorities, only two had clean audit reports. Nobody really cares. And for us to actually question and to find out, to say, if in a local authority has a clean audit report, what does it mean? For a local authority to have a qualified audit report, what does it mean? How does it affect me? So I think the next phase now will be, how do we interpret some of these events, and how do we interpret some of these community issues, to say, if there is a sewer based, how does it affect me at personal level? If there is the outage of water, how does it affect me? And sometimes we have become also comfortable in our discomfort, that we find it not so funny that there is electricity blackout from 5 a.m. To 12 a.m. the next morning, in 18-hour load shedding. So I think the tool that we have to actually aid us has also been used as a weapon to actually silence us as young people, and to actually make us not see with the rightful lens, or not actually realize that there's a lot for us than what meets the eye, than the twerking videos that pop up on our social media, the news, the insults that happen between socialites, and all those characters on social media. Those people are there for a reason, and they are doing their job precisely, and they are putting everyone in their corner. it is according, or it is up to us now to actually discern and say, this is a distraction.
Yeah.
The real issues are here. And I think that winnowing fork is to be given back to young people and is to be passed to the next generation. But without all those fundamentals, I think that's the challenge that we have and that we'll continue to face as time goes on. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, leadership. We are running out of time, so I'm just going to ask you to run through what I'm doing about projecting some of the comments that our audience here that are with us are also in all the opinions, and they're also beneficial because they help us to be able to see where we are lagging behind and how we can be able to assist each other so that young people can be able to know their place in communities. And you brought in issues or to do with even what are the issues to do with what's happening in the grassroots. That is the issues of water shortages, issues of base sewer pipes, and these things are happening, and young people are living in those communities. And some is something that we also need to look at and also take into stock. And also, Jennifer also bring also another also perspective from that China and Japan banned those social media platforms in order to make sure that they bring order, I believe, and probably it's working for them. But now I just want to rush through. I'm going just to read this comment just very fast. If you've witnessed by Pritchard, Honorable Pritchard, my leader, if you've witnessed those who try to call the spaces and it ended up being incarcerated, then you would rather choose to follow skits as you hustle for the next meal while free. If our involvement is not yielding in his house, then we would rather be a nation of socialites. Maybe we may earn $1 from it. Maybe we need to save safe spaces to express ourselves freely without being deemed affiliate of a certain political party. Wow, this is amazing. And I think you also, Simba, brought that issue also that probably when you have got a different view to certain things, you are labeled. That probably you are now against, but sometimes you're also speaking from your heart because you want the best of your community. If you report a best swap pipe or an issue that's happening in your community, you are deemed you're now someone who's against the status quo. But you're just a young person who's patriotic about their community. And also, Jennifer was also bringing that the issue also might also be to do with family structures. That the issue may not be because of the outside community, but also the family structure on its own. Probably on our next episode, we're also going to be talking, be looking into that, the issue of the family structure, because the issue of polarization that's happening now is starting from the structure, that destroy the family structure that we also need also to look at. Jennifer is also saying that in the UK there are classes in the groom their own. Okay, yeah, I'm going to project that one. So as we run down, I want us to have this last, because we are running out of time. Then now, when we're looking at this, how now can we deal with this issue as we conclude, because we're running out of time. Simba, I'm going to bring you in. What's this? This is our first episode. This is a series. We're going to be doing this more and more as we tackle this issue. So, Simba, just maybe 2 points of now we've tried to bring things up. A lot of things they've been brought up, and I'm loving how these things were brought up. What would be your last pertaining solution? Let me say solution. What can then do? Can you bring just only two, and try two, so that we can be able to sum this up and relate for the next episode once again. Simba.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Saying we only need 2 solutions, it becomes difficult for me because there's a lot of problems and a lot of things in my head that I think they may be used as solutions. But number one, on the issue of social, political, and economic issues, I think number one, our spaces should be safer, right? We should create a culture whereby we admit that when somebody differ, is not an enemy of the state. I want us to know that our views doesn't mean they are their enemies. But as Democrats of this republic, we feel that that is the Zimbabwe that we want for us and the future. So number one, we should make our space safer for us. Then number two, we should create a system whereby leaders should understand that they are not superiors of us, the people who elected them into parliament or into certain positions, but they are supposed to work for us and hear our concerns. So I think we should go on with the culture whereby when somebody is elected to be an MP or a councillor, becomes a VIP. No, they should know that they are workers as the taxpayers, because they are the ones who cater for their living. So I think maybe those two things that happen will make our environment safe within the leadership of our country as a whole. I think with those two things, we'll create change within the context of maybe, let me say, of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, leadership. Wow, I'm not going to comment on that one because of time, but thank you so much. Figo, if you can unmute your mic. Yes. Two.
Yeah, thank you so much. I also concur with Simba that the nature of our politics is that once you are elected, you are a boss, you are the VIP. But I also want to bring the other issue around movement building. How do we inculcate these skills, or rather this line of thought, to many of young people who are outside there? The other thing is, how do we carry out this? I think this is the first step in that direction. Of course, people will scroll down some of these podcasts because they know there's no controversy in this. But this is one thing that has been lacking. We've been crying that the socialites are polluting social media, and they are setting up a narrative, or they are setting up an agenda. But what has been that what we have done over the years? And I think one thing is that we should also pollute the spaces where the young people are.
Yes.
When someone just pops up pops a message and sees a flyer saying, did you know that Section 20 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe provides for youth participation and empowerment? Somehow, in a way, someone will benefit. But then if we remain in our corner and say, this is our problem statement, this has been our challenge, we won't yield anything. So I think issues around movement building can also help. And those who are already there, those who have already been envisioned in that order, can also take up that position to ask those critical questions, to say, if we are 5, we are going to ask this question. We are going online. We are going to create a petition against whosoever, the city of Harare, over sewer pipes, over corruption. Everyone can sign online. We mobilize along those lines than cry. So I think the first port of call for me would be movement building. Create a space, as said, for young people, like-minded young people, to actually start the conversations and also to set the agenda for youth involvement and for youth participation, especially in the political spaces, and also trying to demystify some of the mysteries that have been created over time, and also try to actually bring sanity to some of the spaces. As said by Simba, that sometimes we fail to attend or to participate in community development forums, because once you go there, you are told Pamberi Ningi, you are told Pasina Ningi, told pamberi nepati yakati, but the objective of community meetings, ward calls, vit calls, community development funds, everything that is at the community level, anything after elections and which is led by an elected official should be apolitical and should include everyone on the board. And this can also be done by progressive young people who would be challenging those in leadership to say, we want a safe space and we want you to create a non-partisan platform for us to engage and also to bring ideas. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, leadership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, 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 what submissions we received. Lovely submissions, and I believe that all the submissions, and also thank you so much for our audience. These submissions were so amazing. I think with this, it helps us to start the conversation now. About bring young people to issues that are the bread and butter issues. And I really want to thank you so much, Mr. Mfigo, Simba. Thank you so much for your time coming to this space. My fellow leaders, thank you so much. And as to our audience, this was just our first episode. We are going to be in this, and if you want to be part of this podcast, don't hesitate. Just come to our inbox. Yeah, you can just have inbox, and then we can be able to schedule you to be part of this conversation in the studio. But we have these conversations, and also disclaimer: this is not a political platform or any. We are just here to make sure that young people, they know what they know their place, they know their roles, what they need to be doing. So if you want to be participating in this space, please don't hesitate. Please come in, and also let's have those views. And be able to make sure that young people, they participate in their communities and play a critical role. So this family, thank you so much. We are going to be sharing this broadcast on YouTube, on Instagram, so that each and every young person who's going to watch this can be able to benefit and learn. Thank you so much to all our viewers, to all those who participated and contributed. Thank you so much. This it for us. See you on our next section, session and episode. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, leaders. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That is great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the platform.
Amazing.